Hello, everybody. This is Manju Kolli from Ayurhitam. Let's wait for a few more seconds. I'll just wait for everybody to join. I hope all of you are having a happy Friday. My name is Manju Kolli from Ayurhitam. I'm a NAMA certified Ayurvedic practitioner from San Francisco Bay Area. And I'm using this COVID lockdown to share my knowledge with all of you. I'm thankful for the internet for giving me this opportunity. I've been very grateful. I'm very grateful for all the knowledge that I have acquired within the several years. And I'm grateful to be able to share with all of you. With that, I will start today's session. Today's session is about spring allergies, how to overcome spring allergies. That's what we're going to talk about today. Part of the series, I've been trying to keep my Fridays live and bringing several topics. And today's live is going to be about spring allergies, how to overcome spring allergies. So what is spring allergies? When we go out, sun is out in spring, we go out, we breathe, we're happy, we want to breathe air fully. What happens is because of the pollen that is in the air, we breathe that and we come up with a reaction. It could be nasal congestion, sinus congestion. It could be runny nose, itchy eyes, itchy nose, redness in the eyes, or it could be postnasal drip. It could be several things that happens. However, we also know that not everybody gets reacted with this pollen. Few of us gets reacted and few of us don't. Let's understand why is it that only few gets this reaction and few others don't. Again, going back to the team members that we have. We understood before what our team members are. I'm going to just reiterate for those of you that are listening this for the first time. Our team members are our bioelements that are our doshas. We spoke about Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. And our dhatus, which are plasma, blood, muscle, bone marrow, bones, reproductive juices, and fats, and our excretory system as well, and our digestive fire. So these are all comprised of our team members. We have to make sure that we work with our team members so that they protect us from any of these invaders, right? So pollen is definitely an invader. And if our team members are not coherent, or if they're not well trained, or if they're not ready enough, then they don't know what's going on. They go into havoc. And already if there is any kind of imbalance in the system, this pollen comes and reacts with that imbalance and shows up as a reaction, as an allergic reaction. That's really what happens. And that is why every time we see pollen, we see certain type of reactions. So some of us might get that itchy eyes all the time. Some of us might get that postnasal drip all the time. So the symptoms are almost similar. It's because of that imbalance. It's because of that weakness that we have in that certain part of our team. So today we'll talk about how is it that we can strengthen that part, how we can bring balance when there is imbalance. That's what mainly we're going to talk about today. So what did Ayurveda say about this season? Spring is here, right? So what did Ayurveda say? Ayurveda has beautifully explained about various seasons and what to do with different seasons also. With spring, it starts the sutra when in the Samhitas, when you go into the Ayurvedic textbooks, when you open up, there is a specific sutra for every season. The sutra starts with kapha that is accumulated in winter melts with the sun that's outside. That's how the sutra even starts. So, which means it's in the winter that we have to go back and look at what kinds of foods we ate. Because naturally, in winter, there is a lot of digestive fire that we have. Naturally, we have a lot of digestive fire. Our pores are blocked, and it's also holiday season. It's cold outside. We don't go outside so much. So we tend to eat a lot in winter. What happens is all of that stores inside our body. It stores inside our body. It is thick in the channels. It stores as a fat inside. And it happily stays at one part. Nobody is bothered by it. Because it's cold outside, it doesn't melt. It stays happily in one part of our body. Then spring comes and sun comes out. That's when it starts melting. When it starts melting, because its nature is full of water and earth element, it is kapha. That's what it is. The fats are kapha element. Because it has that water element, its main space in the body is above. It's the upper digestive tract and the chest. And that's where all the melted mucus stays in. When there is this melted mucus that stays in that area, that's when the havoc is created. It's all staying here. It does not have a direction. It just moves everywhere it wants to and then goes into this area, creates all that reactions that we just spoke about. And because it's moving, when it goes out, it is sticky as well. It is sticky and it is moving. Then when we go out and we breathe, this sticky nature of this kapha goes and it sticks with that pollen. That's when this pollen gives that reaction. When we get that reaction, it is really a warning sign for us. It's really a warning sign for us. Something is not right. We have to take care of it. Instead, we tend to hit that snooze button. We hit that snooze button later on. We'll take care of it later on. We take antihistamines or nasal decongestants, or we take steroidal inhalers or bronchodilators. All of these, they will take care of that situation at that point. But you're really hitting that snooze button, not taking care of the problem from the root cause. Because what you're really doing is you're mechanically opening up the airways, or you're suppressing whatever is being expressed. So what is it that is different from others? What is it that the others team members do when they don't have a reaction? And why is it that some of us have that reaction? Ayurveda has spoken about 3 types of immunity that each one of us possess. One is natural immunity. You get your immunity from your parents. Natural immunity, when you're born itself, because they have very good tissues, you're given that. You have naturally very, very good tissues. And that's why you're able to combat any invaders, anybody that comes in, you're able to attack them because your body already has that memory from birth. And you have to thank your parents for that because you have a good bank balance, good saving account to begin with. So you're okay if you do some mistakes sometimes, like consuming cold water or something like that. If you do, you don't get into these kind of reactions. You're lucky at that point. So you don't have to work hard to get that acquired immunity. The second type of immunity is the seasonal immunity. In winter, when it is cold outside, there's not a lot of sun, environment naturally gives us that energy. We are energetic. We're more energetic during winter. We're able to do more workout. We're naturally more energetic during that season. However, when sun comes out, that's when it depletes the energy from us. So naturally, our energy is low when spring comes. So that is the second type of immunity. The third type of immunity that we have or we have to acquire is the acquired immunity. So if the natural immunity is low, or the environmental immunity or the seasonal immunity is low, That's when you have to work on this acquired immunity. You have to acquire that immunity. How is it that you can acquire the immunity? And I'll also talk about what is it that the Shastras really spoke about the spring season. What is it that we have to do during spring? So the one thing that we have to remember is the digestive tract, the upper digestive tract is close to the chest region. So if there is a lot of mucus in the digestive tract, it trickles down and goes into the chest region as well and makes us uncomfortable. So keeping the digestive tract clear of mucus is very, very important to begin with. So which means no to cold foods, no to yogurt, no to any of the cold milks, cold milk with cereal or smoothies, cheese, fruits, all of these things that create extra mucus in the digestive tract, you should stay away from them, especially in spring. You should stay away from them. That's one thing that's mentioned. The second thing, extremely heating things also, they cause a lot of inflammation, like any of the tomatoes, if you have tomatoes or acidic food or fermented foods, any of these excess heat causing foods also, we have to stay away from them. So that's one important thing. Then that's one important aspect of keeping our digestive tract free of the mucus so that we can protect our chest region and our upper respiratory tract also. The second thing is exercise. When you exercise, you are squeezing out the extra mucus and you give the route for the excess mucus to travel and come out of the excretory systems. We have good excretory system. We have good garbage dispensal systems that we can work with. That's what exercise helps you with. If you have a good exercise routine, make sure to work out. We found out that the energy during the season is also less. Make sure you work out away from sun. When the sun is not at its peak, that's when you have to work out. And then you also, the third thing, first thing we spoke about foods, second thing we spoke about exercise. I have a question here. Let's see. Only in spring or all the time? Good question. I'll answer that question in just a bit, Saumya. You will, in general, you would want to keep away from these foods for sure, but you can indulge on this for a little bit in winter. In spring, it's best to completely avoid them. So if you want to indulge in it once in a while, winter is a good time for that. Then I hope that answered your question, Saumya. And the third process that we want to look at is massaging. We want to massage with dry powders. Dry powders like dry herbs like triphala or amalaki or chickpea flour. These are also some things that you can create some scraping on your body. Just apply a little bit of oil. Don't apply a lot of oils. Just a thin layer of oil all over your body and then really scrape with those powders. What that scraping does is it takes out that extra mucus out of your body as well. And then wash off with shower. That's the third thing that you would want to do. The fourth thing that I'm going to talk about is nasya. It is very important that we follow this practice during the season. Apply 2 drops of oil. Use anutailam is the best thing that I use. Or you can even use plain sesame oil. Make sure it is lukewarm. Put it in a dropper bottle. And just apply 2 drops into each of your nostril. Make sure you tilt your head like that. Lie down on your bed. Put your head like that. Tilt it. And apply 2 drops into each nostril. Make sure you breathe. Lie down for 100 seconds, count of 100 seconds. You will see that there is some kapha or some mucus that gets stored in the throat. Make sure you spit it out. Do not swallow it. You spit it out and stay for some time. If any secretions, any extra secretions come, spit them out. This is a very good practice to do, especially in spring. You can do it anytime, but especially in spring, because that nasal congestion, that sinus congestion that's there, has excess mucus in there. And that mucus will really come out, and you can, afterwards, what you do is you can follow up with gargling throat. Just do warm water and gargle with warm water. Do not drink any cold water right after nasya. So this one thing, it's called Anu Tailam. Make sure you do that practice. It's your fourth practice. And as far as what is it that you have to eat, textbooks have recommended that you eat barley and wheat. Why barley and wheat? Again, these are types of foods that scrape off your excess fat as well, scrape off that excess mucus as well. So it's good to introduce them during this season. Use wheat more, make wheat rotis more than cooking rice, because cooking rice with water, you're using a lot of water. Again, it's mucousy. So it's best to use more rotis than rice during the season, and use barley. Make sure you roast your vegetables. You can oven roast your vegetables. That way you're squeezing off that excess mucus again. Instead of sauteing it in oil or ghee, it's best to oven roast them. And also barbecue your meat. If you're a meat eater, barbecue your meat. That way you're taking off that excess fat and excess mucus. Make sure that you're spicing them up though. Do not forget to spice them up with good digestive spices. So that is what you have to consume during this season. Good grains, but they're wheat and barley. Oven roasted vegetables. You can do soups as well. Soups are okay. Lentil soups are okay. But make sure that there is less ghee and less oleation during this period. Again, keeping in mind that excess mucus. Yeah. And these are what you're supposed to follow during the spring season, if you are healthy enough and you are not having an attack. Shastras have also mentioned what is it that you have to follow if you're going through an attack. You have an episode right now. You're going through some kind of reaction right now. What is it that you are supposed to do? The first and foremost thing is fasting. You have to fast, depending on your energy, whatever your energy is, depending on the severity of the reaction also. There are so many different types of fasting that you can do. One second. What are good digestive spices? Good question. Good digestive spices could be cumin, coriander, it could be fennel, it could be anything that you can put any of the kitchen spices. It's not only Indian spices like parsley, basil. These can be good spices as well. Any of the clove, cinnamon powder, these are good digestive spices. So fasting, you have to make sure that you fast according to your energy. It's many ways that you can fast. Don't eat at all. You can do it by not eating at all. Or if your energy doesn't support it, if you're getting very weak, you cannot even open your eyes and you're getting very weak, you're not able to digest, you're not able to stay well, then second thing that you can do is you can stay by just sipping hot water. If that is not doable also, the third way you can do is by sipping on rice soups, any of the rice soups that you can make, doing with the rice soups. If that is not doable, any of the lentil soups. These are few things, few variations that you can make, but do fast. Or if any of these is not possible, at least eat 1/4 of what you would normally eat. What fasting does is it really gives your body time to clear up all that space. It clears up all that space, and it also, what it does is it also removes the damaged immune cells, because there are immune cells and they're reproducing every time. But there are damaged cells also because of the reaction. This fasting will give chance for those damaged cells to be removed from the body naturally, and the new set of immune cells are built up. And also there's a lot of research done when you give less calories to the body. If you don't do a lot of calorific load on the body, then what happens is you are creating good immunity for your body. You're reducing your inflammation, you're increasing your longevity. And these are all the researches that was done. So fasting is one thing that you would have to do, first thing. Second thing is sweating or perspiration to remove that excess mucus, right? Let's see, there's another question. Which fruits should avoid in spring? So avoid any type of mucousy fruits like banana or any type of, actually a lot of people do eat vitamin C, but I would not recommend oranges also. Any type of very, very juicy fruits, I would avoid. Even mangoes, I would avoid them. You can eat sauteed apples. Sauteed apples with putting cinnamon powder on top of it is okay. Or pomegranates are good. Grapes are good. Dried raisins, dried figs, these are actually good choices. Dried fruits are good choices during spring. Avoiding anything that has lots of mucus in it, especially bananas are the biggest culprits. Avoiding them is a good idea. And another thing that you can also do is sweat. The sweat is, you have to create that sweat, the perspiration that you have to create. That perspiration is created by several things. It is created by sipping on warm water. You have to keep on sipping warm water. That will create sweat in the body. Boil water, make sure it comes to boiling. You're boiling it not to remove germs from it. That's not what you're boiling water. You're boiling it so that water becomes light and you're introducing some fire into it. Then you sip this water. Once you sip this water, it has so many benefits. It can reroute that mucus into the correct direction and easily excrete it out of the body. That's one thing it will do. And it will break any of the accumulations there. That's also another thing that it will do. So make sure you create that perspiration with drinking hot water. You can infuse some herbs into it, like musta or shunti, little pinches of musta or shunti into it. And that's also recommended by the textbooks. You can do that and keep on sipping warm water. Another way that you can create perspiration if you're having an episode is by doing steam. Boil water, add at least a pinch of camphor and a pinch of turmeric, at least 1/8 teaspoon of turmeric, or a few drops of eucalyptus oil. Add that, bring it to a boil. When you're boiling it, make sure before you take that steam, apply oil, warm oil with salt on your neck and chest region. So you're soaking this region with oil, warm oil, and salt, and you're applying on your neck region and chest region. Take that. I think I'm having trouble with the video. I don't know, but I'm not able to see anything. Can you guys see me? Can anybody message if you're able to see me? Okay, I think I'm live again now. I'm so sorry, everybody. It looks like I was having technical difficulties. And I'm back online now. I'll just wait for a couple of seconds for everyone else to join. I don't know what happened. As long as I love technology, it's helping me do all of this, but sometimes there's technical difficulties. Okay, I'm back online again, and I can start where we left off. I'll just wait for a couple seconds. Okay, so what we were talking about is fasting, and then the second one we were talking about is sweating and perspiration. How do we create sweat? The second way, it's by doing steam. We were talking about adding a pinch of edible camphor, adding few drops of eucalyptus oil, and a tablespoon of milk. You boil it really well, and some turmeric as well. You boil it really well, and we were also talking about how you have to oil your neck and oil the chest region and inhale the fumes. That steam that comes, inhale it. This is a natural bronchodilator. It really dilates your airways. That's one way you can create sweat. And the third way you can create sweat, and I'm going to warn you this before, if you already have any kind of heat-related issues like ulcers or skin diseases or any kind of heat-related concerns, don't do this. But if you don't have any of that, this is another way you can create sweat as well. It's by taking ginger juice. You cut ginger into small pieces, pound it, and squeeze that ginger out. Once you squeeze that out, take half a teaspoon of that ginger juice and 1 teaspoon of honey and take that twice a day. That will also create good steam and it will also cut that mucus. That's a very good thing, but make sure that you do not have any heat related like burning or ulcer kind of issues. And another thing that you can keep on doing is taking rice soups or patty puffed rice soups. That's also very good for you. It gives you good energy and it also removes any of the excess mucus. Keep on sipping bitter herbs. Bitter herbs that are easily available are chamomile tea or tulsi tea. These are something that you can just keep on infusing in hot water and sip on that bitter herbs. Your mucus does not like that bitter taste, and that bitter receptors are present all over your body, not just your mouth. So keep on sipping that bitter herbs with chamomile and tulsi tea, and that also helps very well. Again, we have to go back to winter and look at what is it that we have done in winter as well. Because we did not have any reaction, because we did not have any alarm go off, any warning signal go off, we kept on with our activities during winter. That's what we have to really address. Yes, our digestive fire is high during that time, but what kind of food did we choose to give it? Yes, we have to give it more food, but what kinds of food? Did we give it fried foods? Did we give foods that are not compatible to the body, or foods that are nourishing? Make sure to give foods that are nourishing during winter. Like you can give tubers, you can give root vegetables, and good fats, like good ghee is a good fat. And you can give good grains during that time, good vegetables during that time. But again, staying away from a lot of cold things during winter as well. If you keep on doing that cold things and doing that incompatible things during winter, you will not see that repercussions during that time. All of it is waiting for it to be exploded in spring. So going back and correcting that habits in winter also gives you a lot of mileage. And that's about what I wanted to say. One more thing that you can also do is neti is a good practice that you can practice. and doing good pranayamas for your lungs as well. Like Bhastrika is a very good practice. It's a very strong pranayama that you can do to take that excess mucus out of your body. And Kapalbhati is also another type of pranayama that you can do. These are heavy, strong exercises, heavy, strong lung exercises that you can do to keep that lungs strong and also remove that excess mucus. So removing excess mucus that's created and not adding any excess mucus is the mantra for spring. I hope this has been helpful, and you will be able to use this in your daily routine, especially during your spring routine. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer that question. Any specific questions you have, again, these are all general things that I was able to tell you. There are so many specific conditions that can happen. Ayurveda, even though it gives you many things, it also tells you do's and don'ts for many things. These are general things that anybody can follow, normal, healthy person can follow. But if you have any certain particular concern or condition, things could be different and you'd have to change it according to what's going on in the body. If you have any of that information, or if you need any of that information, please feel free to reach out to me even after the session is over, and I'll be happy to answer that. Thank you, Soumya, and thank you all of you for joining this Friday evening. Friday evenings I've dedicated to do a live session every week, and if you have any specific topic that you would want to speak about, I'll be happy to speak about that as well next week. How do fasting for a short time? So fasting for a short time, again, like we spoke about, you have to make sure that you really understand your body. If you are someone that have a lot of hunger and you cannot handle staying without eating at all, then what you do is you just keep on taking soups. You can take like lentil soup, like moong soup. What you do is you soak moong and you cook it. You strain that water, you mash that moong that's cooked, strain that water, and you also make sure to add some spices in it. Again, cumin powder, coriander powder, cinnamon powder, whatever powder you want to add in it, you add in it, and keep on sipping that throughout the day. That will also give you, it along with giving you bala, it also removes that excess mucus. So that's one way. That's a very good way that I tell a lot of my clients to do fasting. It's moong dal, it's whole moong dal, whole green moong dal. That's what I tell a lot of my clients. Or you can do it with any of the grains as well. You can take rice and make a rice soup out of it and keep sipping that throughout the day. Again, do it until you are over with your condition that you're going through at this time. Thank you, Christy and Rajita. Can you talk about what lung exercises to do during spring? So Bhastrika is one thing for the next season. Okay, sure. Recipe ideas, definitely. I can talk about the recipe ideas as well. I'll keep updating my website with the new recipes. I also talk about something new, something brief in my Facebook page as well every day. If any of you have not been on my Facebook page, you can go ahead and like that, so I can give new recipes or new tips every day. That's what I've been doing. I'll definitely do that, Soumya. That's a good idea. Fasting has really cut down. Oh, that's good, Christy. Very good to hear that from you. Good. Thank you so much for everybody for joining this Friday evening. Let's all stay healthy, and I would be really happy if you can let me know what changes have you made of all of what we have spoke today, what changes you have made, and how it has made a difference for you. I'd be happy to hear from you. Thank you so much, and you guys all have a wonderful weekend. Bye-bye.